This is a wild tour story. One year, myself and the choir, we were in Milwaukee, and we were at this particular, I think it was called Afro Fest, and we were singing downtown Milwaukee. And, you know, I wasn't living in Chicago then, I was still living in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm from. So myself and all the choir were on stage, and we were singing, we were in the middle of this song. And all of a sudden, you know, I was directing the choir, so my back was to the audience, and it was packed. And all of a sudden, I just started seeing the choir freeze, and then sometimes they just stopped singing a little bit, like the soprano section fell out and then the alto section stopped, and I was looking at them like, what are y'all doing? Why are you stopped singing? What's going on? Why are you not singing? And I looked around and the whole entire audience was running, and it was a guy out there with a gun that was getting ready to start fighting somebody, and the whole entire audience was running. And so coming from Carolina, you know, they weren't used to that Milwaukee, you know, Chicago edge of people. So the choir just freaked out. And then all of a sudden, what happened with the fight, they took it somewhere else, and the whole choir came right back and sit down, and we continued on with the concert. The choir will never, ever forget that story. They freaked completely out. You know, it was crazy to look around and just see a sea of people running, and then all of a sudden, it was like the water went out and came back to the shore, and that was it. Kept going. I think one of the wild tour stories that I had, just being Donald Lawrence and getting to know people and putting music out there. Sometimes when people listen to your music, they think that you're like best friends. There was this one person that would always come to my concerts dressed in white. And every time they would show up dressed in white, they made sure they came down the aisle and sat on the front row. And it just became kind of weird to me. So I told my tour manager about it. I was like, this person that you guys kind of, you know, reached out to a little bit and just was nice to them, they keep showing up. And it started looking weird. So we started feeling like it was a stalker. So every tour we would go to, we would tell security, this person shows up, monitor them because we don't know what we're gonna do. There was one particular time when I had to go do an event by myself and meet some people there. And I was just riding with the driver. I went and did the event, and when I came out, that person was there talking to the driver, and I was kind of by myself, so I kind of was like, what do I do? So I started texting everybody, and people like that are so smart. This particular person talked to the driver, told him that they were lost, and they need to find their way back to the hotel, so the driver unknowingly said, well, just follow me. I'm gonna take Donald back to his hotel, then I'll take you to his hotel. So they had figured out a way to figure out where I was. It was just the craziest thing. And I think that's the only time that I really freaked out about like a stalker, because I was by myself. And when they're clever, that makes me nervous. I'm not really scared about them just showing up, but when they're clever and they're smart and they're angled, those are the people you need to be, you know, freaked out about. So that freaked me out, actually, to tell you the truth. The scary part about this is this female fan wasn't from the city. They would just show up at every city when they heard I was having a concert. They would make sure they were in white, and they would just find ways inside security. If it wasn't playing the victim, I don't know where I am, can you help me out? Or if it was, hey, I work in the industry, it was just the weirdest thing. But that particular time, when I really didn't expect it, because it wasn't a musical performance, it was I just spoke a little bit, figured it out, was talking to the driver that was driving me, and was following the driver back to a hotel, not her city or anything, just figured it out. All down to the point to where they knew when I was flying and what airline I was flying on. So it's just a freaky thing.